On the afternoon of March 28th, a 7.9 magnitude earthquake struck Myanmar, with a depth of 30 kilometers. The tremors quickly spread to nearby areas like Thailand and China's Yunnan province. About 960 kilometers from the epicenter, a 30-story building under construction in Bangkok collapsed just 5 seconds after the earthquake. The scene showed thick smoke, and people were running in panic. While the world focused on the strong earthquake in Myanmar, the collapsed building in Bangkok became an unexpected center of attention. It turns out that this building was constructed by China Railway 10th Bureau, CR10, a Chinese company. It was called a Chinese Overseas Construction Showcase. Now it seems to be another powerful example of the Chinese Communist Party's shoddy construction projects being exported abroad. No wonder some people said that while an earthquake is a natural disaster and a human tragedy, it's almost comical that only buildings constructed by Chinese companies collapsed in the quake. According to local media, the collapse of the building killed at least 3 people and left 81 missing. The Thai National Emergency Medical Center reported on Facebook that around 320 people were on the construction site when the building collapsed. 20 people were trapped in the elevator shaft. 50 people were injured in the earthquake, with 40 of them being sent to hospitals. The collapsed building was meant to be the new office building for Thailand's Office of the Auditor General. It was located in the Chatuchak district of Bangkok. The total budget for the building was 2.1 billion Thai baht, or around 62 million US dollars. It was being built by a joint venture between China Railway 10th Bureau Thailand Company Limited and Italy's Italian Development Company Limited. The building was designed to be 137 meters tall, and construction started in 2020. Work was paused due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but the main structure was completed by March 31, 2024. This 30-story building used a unique core tube plus beamless floor structural system, a design that previously caused major safety concerns in Miami, Florida. Experts say that while this system offers high space efficiency, it poses special challenges for earthquake resistance. The collapse of a condominium in Miami in 2021, which resulted in 98 casualties, was caused by similar beamless floor systems that failed during a strong earthquake. When the earthquake happened, Chinese authorities reported that the construction progress was only 30%, which contradicted earlier statements that the building had been topped out. It's worth noting that the China Railway 10th Bureau celebrated the completion of the main structure in April 2024. However, after the incident, they immediately deleted the related article. If the structure had truly topped out in April 2024, then by March 2025, the building should not have only reached 30% completion. One possibility is that the topping out referred only to the core tube or part of the structure reaching the top, not the completion of all floors. Another possibility is that the promotion exaggerated the actual progress. The removal of the celebratory article by China Railway 10th Bureau has been interpreted as a sign of guilt. There are also questions about whether the collapse of the Thai Auditor General's building was related to its construction phase and the quality of the design and construction. Were the concrete strength standards met? Was the steel reinforcement properly arranged? With only 30% of the construction completed, the earthquake resistance system was not yet fully formed, yet they were calling it topped out. The Thai government has declared a state of emergency, and the subsequent investigation may focus on the rationality of the design, construction execution, and management coordination. If it is found that the Chinese company made significant mistakes, it will not only face financial compensation, but also damage its reputation in the Southeast Asian market. As of now, China Railway 10th Bureau has not made an official response to the incident. According to publicly available information, high-rise buildings in Thailand must meet a seismic resistance requirement for magnitude 8 earthquakes, but the earthquake in Myanmar was 7.9, clearly indicating that the building's earthquake resistance was insufficient. Comments from Thai netizens on social media reflect widespread dissatisfaction. They said, "Chinese construction quality is a joke. Chinese companies boast about their technological superiority, but who can still trust such quality? The only building that collapsed was built by a Chinese company. How ironic." This incident has also sparked heated discussions among Chinese netizens. The former editor-in-chief of Global Times, Hu Xijing, exclaimed, "This is the most tragic scene of a building collapsing from an earthquake I've ever seen in real-time news." China Railway 10th Bureau, one of the representatives of China's infrastructure expansion abroad, has undertaken numerous projects in countries along the Belt and Road Initiative in recent years. The collapse of the Bangkok building is not an isolated case. Chinese companies have also faced controversies over engineering quality or management issues in Africa and Southeast Asia. For example, the Kenya Railway project faced criticism for delays, and the Indonesian high-speed rail project became a focal point due to budget overruns and progress issues. From the Indonesian Jakarta-Bandung high-speed rail's cost overruns and delays to the collapse of the Laos Hydro Power Station and the Kenya Railway's operational losses, all these cases expose the fatal flaws of Chinese companies in their international expansion. They emphasize speed over quality and publicity over responsibility. The significance of the Bangkok incident is particularly striking. It is the first super high-rise building built by a Chinese company overseas, yet it collapsed in just 5 seconds. This incident directly challenges the image of China's infrastructure being far ahead. This incident is not only an engineering disaster, but also a setback for the international image of Chinese infrastructure. Following the strong earthquake in Myanmar, several regions have declared a national state of emergency. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the earthquake occurred at 12:50 p.m. local time on March 28th, with a magnitude of 7.7 on the Richter scale. The epicenter was located 16 kilometers northwest of the city of Sagaing, near Myanmar's second-largest city, Mandalay, and about 100 kilometers from the capital, Naypyidaw. The earthquake's depth was 10 kilometers. This earthquake was a shallow source quake, releasing a powerful amount of energy and affecting a wide area. According to the Thailand Meteorological Department's Earthquake Monitoring Center, by 5:30 p.m. local time on March 28th, the strong quake had triggered 19 aftershocks, ranging from magnitudes of 3 to 7.1. At 2:20 p.m. Beijing time on March 28th, several areas in Yunnan province, China, also felt the tremors from the strong earthquake in Myanmar. According to reports from China's Central Television, the earthquake in Myanmar was strongly felt in areas across Yunnan, including Sichuan-Banna, Dehong, Lijiang, Baoshan, and Dali, as well as in Guizhou and Guangxi provinces. The intense shaking caused noticeable tremors in Dehong Prefecture, especially in the city of Ruili. A video circulating online shows a building in the center of Ruili where the water tank on top of the multi-story building collapsed due to the shaking, and a large amount of water poured down like a waterfall. People panicked and tried to escape, but the water quickly overwhelmed them, and many were swept away by the surge, pushing them toward the street. A woman recalled that she saw the whole building shaking and heard strange noises due to the earthquake. Then water and sand began rushing down. She said, "It just overwhelmed us. We were scared." She said that when the water stopped, she saw some people had been injured by falling debris. The whole scene was chaotic. At 3:15 p.m. on March 28th, Mr. Chen, a staff member at a hotel in the building, said the tremors had been felt about a half hour earlier. He recalled, "It started in the lobby, then the whole building started to shake. The shaking grew stronger, and things started falling from the 31st floor. Everyone rushed out." Mr. Chen said that, apart from a few residents, all the hotel guests had been evacuated by firefighters. He said, "I only saw an elderly gentleman with an injured arm." The building was still experiencing aftershocks, and the area had been blocked off by firefighters. In another video, a woman is heard saying, "Wow, it was instantly leveled to the ground. My God." The video from another angle shows the crowd fleeing, while huge dust clouds and falling debris pour down from above. Videos also show dust flying in the streets of Ruili, as residents fled from tall buildings. Utility poles had collapsed, and emergency evacuation procedures were quickly implemented. One resident said,
I remember. The house was shaking. I was on a motorcycle, and it felt like I was being tossed around.
In a report by New Beijing News, Mr. Zhang, a Ruili resident, mentioned that he clearly felt the tremors while riding his bike, and the trees and buildings by the road were swaying. People rushed out of their homes and gathered in open spaces to seek safety. Zhang told reporters that the beams in his house had cracked, and nearby shopping mall parking garages had collapsed. Mr. Ye, who was in Ruili during the earthquake, said that he had gone to his company to pick up something and was about to get into his car when he noticed that the car was shaking. He quickly realized it was an earthquake, and the shaking grew stronger. He ran out immediately and saw people from the upper floors also running down. Mr. Ye said, "Now everyone is outside. I don't know what to do. I'm just waiting in an open area for now." After the earthquake, a netizen in Ruili said, "It calmed down for a while, but then it started shaking again. I'm too scared to sleep tonight." The cracks in the houses may worsen due to aftershocks. According to the official announcement from Dali, Yunnan, 458 households and 1,705 people were affected by the Myanmar earthquake. 2 people were slightly injured, and some buildings experienced falling debris. Some high-rise buildings and old houses were partially damaged. Dehong in Yunnan province borders Myanmar and is located about 300 to 400 kilometers from the epicenter, where the impact was the strongest. Residents in Mangshi, Dehong, reported strong tremors, with some saying they couldn't even stand up. The damage to houses was severe. In Yunnan's Dehong, a high-rise building shook, and citizens rushed to escape. While the earthquake occurred in Mangshi, a netizen living on the 25th floor recorded the violent shaking of their fish tank. Water spilled out, and furniture was constantly moving. They said, "It felt like I was going through a life-or-death moment." At Dehong Normal College, the damage was shocking. The roof of the teaching building was severely damaged, with bricks and tiles falling off. Several cracks appeared in the walls, and tiles were broken. Kunming, the capital of Yunnan, is about 600 to 700 kilometers from the epicenter. It still felt strong tremors. A netizen in Kunming said, "I thought I was dizzy, but then everyone downstairs ran out." There have been no major damage reports from Kunming, but residents were generally fearful, and some evacuated from high-rise buildings. A man in Kunming shouted,
Friends in Kunming, did you feel the earthquake this noon? It woke me up from my nap. These high rises are dangerous, especially with the current economic situation. I just want to lie down, but I can't. If anyone is planning to leave the city, take me with you.
Ms. Yang, who runs a guest house in Kunming's Gwangdu district, told reporters that the shaking lasted about 5 or 6 minutes. She said, "I was feeding my child when it suddenly started shaking. My chandelier was swinging violently. At first, I thought I was dizzy. Then the customers in the store rushed out, asking if it was an earthquake. It lasted for about 5 or 6 minutes intermittently." Ms. Yang added, "Later, people in our Kunming groups were talking about the earthquake. We haven't felt such strong tremors in recent years." She shared a video showing the chandelier swaying significantly and making a buzzing sound. Lijiang, located in the northwest Yunnan Plateau, experienced significant tremors. Residents described the shaking of wooden houses, with some feeling dizzy and nauseous. Tourist attractions such as Lijiang Old Town have not reported any damage, but tourists may have evacuated due to the tremors. Baoshan, located near the Myanmar border in Yunnan, also felt strong tremors. Videos online show indoor items shaking, and some older houses had cracks in their walls. A video shared by a netizen in Baoshan shows intense shaking in a pool hall, where the ceiling lights above the pool table collided with the ceiling, making loud clanging noises. One netizen commented, "This is the strongest shaking I've ever seen in a video." Another questioned, "Why didn't they run? No sense of safety." The netizen replied, "I was on the 24th floor. How could I run?" He later told reporters that the video was sent by a friend who had owned the pool hall. He said, "The ceiling might have been slightly damaged, but everything else was fine and no one was injured." He added that he was working at the shop when the earthquake occurred. In Dali, Yunnan, a resident experienced the earthquake in a clothing store, saying, "The wooden building shook like it was about to come down. They felt dizzy and nauseous." A post on X mentioned that kitchen staff mistook the shaking for low blood sugar due to the intensity. In Dali, a netizen posted a video saying,
I ran downstairs from the 18th floor, and there were people everywhere downstairs. After the aftershock stopped, people outside the building hesitated to go back in.
According to the Yunnan Earthquake Bureau, the earthquake warning system can provide information about earthquakes of magnitude 4 and above within 50 kilometers of Yunnan and surrounding areas. However, some netizens believe that due to Dali's proximity to the epicenter, the earthquake might have reached a magnitude of 6. Lijiang, Dali, and Kunming, popular tourist destinations, experienced panic. Many tourists cut their trip short and evacuated to safer areas. However, no damage has been reported at these attractions. On X, netizens reported that the wooden buildings in Dali seemed like they were about to collapse, and aftershocks have increased anxiety. The nearby province of Sichuan also felt the earthquake, particularly in Panzhihua, which is close to the Yunnan border. A video shows a chandelier shaking at a private home, with a netizen saying, "It scared me, but luckily nothing major happened." Even in Xi'an, over 1,800 kilometers away, reported tremors. After the earthquake, China Railway Kunming Bureau Group Company Limited initiated an emergency response, suspending 5 passenger trains in areas with strong tremors. Some trains on the Dali-Lincang Railway, Dali-Baoshan Railway, and China-Laos Railway were limited to a speed of 80 kilometers per hour for safety. Yunnan, located in an earthquake-prone area, faces a higher risk of landslides if aftershocks reach a magnitude of 5 or above, especially after rainfall. The earthquake may also impact Yunnan's economy, particularly the agricultural, tourism, and small business sectors, further exacerbating the region's already fragile economic situation.